the American taxpayer about $220 million per day. We found this Iran war cost tracker online. We're going to go through it piece by piece. It's really jarring to find out just how much the war is costing us Americans when we all said we wanted an America First policy, didn't we? That is what everybody, I think, voted for. But let's go ahead and go through this live war tracker. What you're seeing here on the screen is the timeline since the beginning of the war. So this is like 3 days and 17 hours since the strikes began. It has cost us so far at this point in the war anywhere from 1.7 billion to 2.5 billion, which likely even higher than that because that doesn't include a lot of other costs that we don't know about, like special kind of dark operations, hospital costs for the soldiers that are wounded, those types of things. But we've already seen from this tracker that the U.S. taxpayer has spent $1.3 billion in operations so far, $808 billion in discrete costs. That's just military jargon for one-time costs. So that's including aircraft losses, spent munitions like high-value cruise missiles, bunker busters, those types of things. So we've already spent quite a bit on this war. But let's go ahead and break it down from this tracker here. Right here is the daily burn rate. So this is operations, not including losses or spent munitions, are averaging $2,500 per second is what it's showing us there. $2,500 per second. Don't we wish we all made that kind of money? $9 million per hour, $220 million per day is what it is costing us. Of that $220 million, they break it down a little bit here. We're spending 18% of that for personnel, 10% on naval forces, that's 2 carrier strike groups, 7 guided missile destroyers, 6 littoral combat ships, almost 22% on aircraft operations, almost 16% on non-tracked ordnance, which is a fancy way of saying dumb bombs, and then 22.7% on overhead and unmodeled costs, basically the cost of running the operation and any unforeseen expenses. Then we've got the deployed forces operating costs. This is naval. Then we'll get into Air Force. But we're now getting kind of granular with the details here. The 2 aircraft carrier strike groups cost $13 to wouldn't that be nice? $13 to $17 million a day. It is $1.5 million to operate the 7 guided missile destroyers a day. It is $1.1 to $2.6 million to run the combat ships per day. Then we go into the aircraft support operating costs here. It's a similar breakdown of the hourly costs of operating the different aircrafts involved, which is $30 to $70 million per day for this. Then we go into the operation timeline and discrete costs. This is where it gets interesting. They don't have totals for everything, but they have a timeline of discrete costs. So that's $270 million lost when they said that it was Kuwaiti air defenses that shot down the 3 F-15Es. But did they? That's still debated whether or not the Kuwaitis did it or whether or not the Iranians did it. They said they were in active combat with the Iranians. They want to say the Kuwaitis did it. But anyway, still $270 million when they shot down those 3 planes. The first wave of more than 120 Tomahawk missiles on the 28th of February cost $240 million. And it goes on like that. They don't yet have the cost for the damage cost caused to, like the U.S. Embassy in Saudi Arabia, for example. The Pakistani embassy was also being shot up by some angry Pakistanis. So we're seeing a lot of attacks happening at the U.S. embassies. They don't factor that into these costs right now.
Want to save money on your car insurance?
All right, hey, shalom, shalom. All right, you saw that. I probably went a little bit, excuse me, further than I wanted to go with the video that she was putting up. But look, you heard what she said and you heard what she was going into. Babylon laden themselves with thick clay, as the scripture said. Hey, we might as well go there first. First and foremost, giving all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahasham. I was looking up kosher fish, fins and scales. Anyway, I had a buddy that said he's going to bring me some fish, and I needed to see what kind first, because we can't just be eating anything. But you see, laden himself. That's in the book of Habakkuk. Again, first and foremost, giving all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rekaha, Kodash, double honors to the apostles and the elders at Great Millstone, whom I learn from each and every day. You hear that? All right. Healthy shalom to the brothers out there doing the work and truth and sincerity. Also to the the speckled bird that's gonna come looking like all the any other nation really on the planet. All right. Hey, today we are focusing on Babylon, his thick clay, his divinations, and his witchcraft, man. And the shit ain't working no more. Okay? I did a lesson, I don't know, I guess, it was about 3 days ago, I suppose. It's a little early. Well, it ain't that early. It's time to get to work. It's 7:45, but I did a lesson going into how the generals are talking about Babylon, a.k.a. America, really only had like 10 days to 2 weeks of full-on, all-out war. Other than that, they can't reproduce those expensive-ass weapons they got. Not to mention the over there in the so-called Middle East, Iran has taken out basically all of Babylon's bases. So, hey, man, let the weak say I'm strong. Let's go there first. Slovakia. Total impromptu. All right. And I didn't intend to really make this too long, but it is what it is. As the spirit hits me, it's just what it's going to be. Verse 9 reads, Proclaim ye this among the Gentiles, prepare war, wake up the mighty men, let all the men of war draw near, let them come up. You hear that? Beat your swords, speed your plowshares into swords, and your pruning hooks into spears, and let the weak say I'm strong. So look, man, Iran, that shit ain't Iraq, okay? It ain't, it's not Iraq, it's not, these little places that America used to just go in and run over. If you can remember and pay attention, back with Iraqi freedom, let's look some of this shit up. Iraqi freedom, they just went in there and just bulldozed everything, man. Let's see. Iraqi freedom operation. I remember this like yesterday, man, because it was sort of like yesterday. 2003 invasion of Iraq. It was called Iraqi freedom, and they went in there, and I remember, watching it. To see, I remember watching that when they first went there on TV and watching all them damn. It was like green. You could see it was like everything was green. All the rockets and everything was green. I remember seeing, and they was lobbing so many rockets and this and that, and they went in there and they destroyed Saddam's Air Force in like 3 hours. Nah, Iraq ain't like that. I mean, Iran, it's totally different. You got the likes of Nero 47. Hey, man, now they trying to ask other nations, India, Qatar, right? Even Ukraine, all right? Because Ukraine has figured out on their own since Babylon quit, providing them with so many weapons. Hey, don't get it twisted. They probably get, this and that, probably some javelins here and there, whatever, all right? But Ukraine has figured out how to counter these damn, the offensive, or really defensive, but the offensive from Iran. And nobody else has got that technology because they had to come up with it on their own. You see what I'm saying? So look, man, Babylon's through, and he's laid himself with thick clay. That's why I showed that. And it's fair use. Fair use. I'll put, the disclaimer up before this lesson goes up. But, Babylon has laid himself with thick clay. You heard what she said. It was $2,500 a second. Do the math, man. Do the math. That's a shit ton of money. All right? And it's all fiat currency anyway, man. That's why they really want to go digital, so they can just do away with the printing presses altogether. And not to mention, it's prophecy. Habakkuk 2 and verse 1, I will stand upon my watch and set me upon the tower, and I will watch to see what he will say unto me when I shall, and what I shall answer when I am reproved. Yeah. Please excuse me if my voice is messed up a little bit. That happens. Anyway, and the Lord Yahweh answered me and said, write the vision and make it plain upon tables, that he may run that readeth it. This is all prophecy here, man. Look, and you look, Jake is out there doing all kinds of weird, crazy, stupid, not paying attention, not watching, you know. As the scripture said, I will stand upon my watch right here. I just read it. He said he made us a watchman, you know, a tester of metals. But look, Jake is not listening and understanding the signs and the times that we're in. Why? Because, apparently, you know, as the scripture said, the election has obtained it and the rest were blinded. You know, I'm not saying I'm a part of the elect. Nah. I mean, it's a Lord willing type thing. It's, you know, if the water to you, how about you, y'all shaf, I am. You know, heavy, for real. All right, verse 3 reads, for the vision is yet for an appointed. Jake is, again, Jake is doing all kinds of everything, man, other than hearkening to the voice of the Lord. And that's it, which is the prophets. All right, i.e. mainly the men at Great Millstone that speak 100% truth. All right, and know and understand the eye salve, and know and understand that none shall want her mate, that nothing can be mated up with this book, man. All right. Yeah, the vision is yet for an appointed time, but at the end it shall speak and not lie. Though it tarry, wait for it. See? Because it will surely come. It will not tarry, man. And look, shit, I was just speaking with a brother yesterday going into this, man. Even Christianity, Christianity has been forced to study. Okay? And you hear a lot of talking points, and you could tell they're listening to the prophets. You know, they're listening. But you start to hear a lot of talking points, even in mainstream media, going into some of the things that the prophets go into. So you can't tell me this word hasn't reached the gates of the nobles, man. It's totally reached the gates. You got Trump talking about the prophets of doom and this and that, blah, blah, blah. You know, it's not about us. It's about the words of Yahweh Shem Yahushua. And hey, and what did he say? He said, in these end times, he's going to pour out his spirit among all flesh, man. He's going to pour it out. He ain't going to give everybody understanding, because that's only for Jake. You know, that's only for the Israelites. It's many scriptures to go into that. One I can think of right off the top of my head, Psalms 147, verse 19. He showeth his word unto Jacob, his statutes and commandments unto Israel. That's how it goes? Yep. As for his judgment, they have not known them. Praise ye Yahweh Shem Yahushua. That's exactly how. Well, I mean, I think that's how it goes. I could go to it, but you can look it up on your own. But that's just another one. John 3:16, that's another one that everybody uses completely out of context. It's crazy, man. All right, verse 4 reads, but his soul which is lifted up is not upright in him, but the just shall live by faith. Yea, also, I'm reading fast because, I sort of need to get to work, Anyhow, ye also, because he transgresseth by wine, he's a proud man, and neither keeper at home, who will enlarge his desire as hell. What is he? Look at what this devil is doing, y'all. Look at what he's doing. And again, man, he done barked up the wrong tree. I read the scripture, let the weak say I'm strong. Hey man, this ain't no damn North Korea, and you don't want to fuck with North Korea. Like, they got their troops over there in fighting with Putin. See, and hey, look, that's why you need to dig in and keep 10 toes down and understand the prophecies, because all this is written. As it is written, so shall it be done. That's what the scripture said. All right, he's not a keeper at home, and he is as death and cannot be satisfied, but gather unto him all nations, and heapeth unto himself all people. Shall not all these take up a parable against him? See, that parable against him is going to be their councils where they start murmuring and talking, one to another, saying, wait a minute, screw this great whore. Don't you understand? This is going to be a parable against Babylon and its ways, and all the ways that the earth has been drunken and drink of the wine of the wrath of her fornication. They all getting pissed off, man. Jeremiah 51, first chapter. And they gonna bend them bows and shoot them arrows at the behest of Yahweh Bahasham Yahweh Shai. This place is finished. See? All right? Shall not all these take up a parable against him and a taunting proverb against him and say, woe, that means destruction to him that increaseth that which is not his. He just did that shit in Venezuela. How long? And to him that laded himself with thick clay. So you heard that shit, man. You know, hey, and to all you out there that think America is invincible, it's not. They're already losing this damn war. They're losing. They're already losing. Let's see, what was I was going to pull up, how long can America sustain? Let's see if we can pull this up. Come on now. A full-fledged war. The sustainability of full-fledged war for the U.S. depends on various factors, including military resources, political will, and economic implications. Did you hear that? Did you hear what that said? It said economic implications. All right, that's why I played that. That's why the scripture said he laid himself with thick clay. Man, this is a unsustainable type thing, man. They can't. Babylon, aka America, man, they can't keep building these sophisticated $1 million damn $2-3 million just single shot weapons, man. They can't continue to do that shit. All right. When Iran, you know, hey, look, it said, well, you know, you can't believe nothing Western media says, but they're saying that the United States has destroyed half of the missile batteries and the shooting platforms of Iran's weapons and stuff, but you can't trust them. Either way it goes, look, Nero said this shit's gonna last no more than 3 days. Here we are. Now he talking about a month or better. Why? Because they really getting outclassed. Okay? The United States' significant military stockpiles, but ongoing conflicts can deplete these resources. Recent reports indicate that Gulf allies are already running low on critical interceptor munitions. Did you hear that? Already running low. So, hey, again, like those generals and shit we're going into, man, we only got 10 to 14 to 2 weeks of full-on kick ass, and that's it. You know, and hey, what Dr. Dre say in that song? It ain't gonna be nothing after that. You know, it ain't gonna be through. You know, hey, and don't get it twisted, man. Yeah, United States, Babylon, and Esau, Edom, hell, his blessing was the sword. So you know, and you got to take into consideration that the United States is over there on their territory, right? You know, I'm just saying, and that's precisely why the scriptures go into and tell you that this place shall be burned with fire, because logistically, it's damn near impossible to invade America with troops, put boots on the ground. See, this Yahweh Shemiel Shah is perfect. You see, this is why he said. The beast shall hate the whore, shall burn her with fire. And that's that, man. So economic factors, all that shit, it all plays into prophecy. Giving all praise. Hey, hopefully this lesson was edifying. Giving all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh. Bahasham Yahweh Shai. Shalom.